Hey everyone, welcome to this episode of the Buchan Revival. I promised you we'd do something different, and today we're doing something different. As you can see behind me, we're finally moving the big excavator over to the Buchan property, and we're going to start cleaning up all those trees I knocked down and everything behind the house as well. And maybe the motorhome, we'll see. Let's get going. Okay, this thing's crusty looking, but gets the job done. I'm looking forward to doing this over here. Oops, well, there, try that again. As I was saying, I've been looking forward to doing this ever since, I guess, I used to dream about this place, so I will track over there. Those pine trees are the backyard, and we'll start. I suppose we ought to start at the back and try to make our way to the back of the motorhome, which is right in here. I can't tell. Yeah, right over in there somewhere. Let's get moving. Probably the first time you've ever seen the back of this house from this angle. Can't even see it. You can just kind of see the green roof of the house over there, and there's no leaves on the trees. I've been cutting down the trees that I want that have been kind of encroaching in this field, so I'm going to move all them into one spot like I've been doing on the other side of the lawn. Get them in a spot so I can lift them up with this and cut them up for firewood. But I think this is where I'm going to start. See that this is all overgrown. Barely see the roof back there. To be a path. The barn foundation's right there, and there's a path going through here. Straighten out a little. Yeah. Right through here. So I'm going to start cleaning all this out, and I don't know, just there's a lot to do. Just got to start somewhere and see what happens, I guess. just taking a bio break, as they say. You can see me picking up big clumps maybe in the time lapse there of this is just like canopies of brush, you know. But once you take it out, it's like, okay, now I see what I'm looking at here. This looked like it was an open area. There's some, you know, kind of surrounded by pines. They got some of these arborvitaes, like a row of them, and then the pine trees. Well, my old neighbors said there's a swimming pool here once, and I think it would probably be where these gigantic cottonwood trees are. Like there's a big clump of them right there. That's like you can't tell, but there's a divot. So yeah, I'm just kind of sorry for the quick movements here. Just kind of making my way forward, stuffing all the brush and stuff down in the barn foundation like I wanted to before, and seeing what I can do. There's a lot of really big buckthorn over there. That usually takes a whole carpet of topsoil out with it, but with all those trees that I cut down laying out in the field, I need to move them soon for farming. So I want to find at least like 2 spots to cut firewood, like stage up for that. So I was thinking maybe in here, and then of course down in the lawn where we're going to head to next. Once I get this cleared out, there's a ton of firewood down there from that hillside. So I've only been at it like an hour, and it's what a difference it's made. Keep going. Getting close to the house, I figured I'd do a non-time lapse here, so we'll finally get to like unearth the back of the house and the motorhome. Set this somewhere for firewood. This looks like a backyard again. It's amazing how a couple hours with a machine like this, it went from a jungle that seemed like you couldn't even judge how big it was, and now it's all opened up, and it's, I'll go over in a minute. I wish I had a drone. That would be really cool. But anyways, I mean, this is it. Goes by quick, and now it's all opened up. There's that ham radio antenna. I gotta pick that off of this because that's not on the roof, but it's close. That window up there is one of the main reasons I'm trying to get this cleared out, so I can put the backhoe bucket up there when we go to clean that room out. Otherwise, we got to go down that super narrow set of steps in the one room, or that little tiny hatch that's in the back room there. I did get that door to open below it, so this will be good to be able to get, walk around out here, and also get the backhoe over here, some machinery, some daylight on it. I mean, that's all buckthorn over there. Look at the size of that thing. And feel free to comment. I'm sure I could Google this, but I'd rather ask you guys how many years it takes for grapevines to get about 3 inches in diameter, because you can see like the Medusa snake looking stuff that's just all over the place. I pull some of these trees out, and it's like 7 power lines are attached to the bucket from all the grapevines that are coming with it. They're just everywhere in here. But anyways, put it back on the laps and kind of clear this out. Maybe I can start working my way over that way to get to that side of the house where I've already cleared, and start making a pile of brush over that way. It's getting to be quite the haul. You don't want to do a lot of tracking with one of these machines. It takes forever to track it all to the barn foundation where I've stacked a lot of it now. So we'll make another burn pile over that way. Just something a little precarious just happened. I was scooping these vines out, and this tree has decided to come with me. Luckily, it's on that side of the boom, so it's not going to crush the cab, but I didn't expect that. These, I don't know what kind of trees these are. I got to look them up. They're not very sturdy, obviously. I don't know how this came out so easy, but I'm going to try to spin out of it. But this is getting a little sketchy. I'm glad it came out. I wanted that one out anyways, but yay. Okay, it's been a couple days since I first started over here. It's a little windy, so I don't know how well you're going to hear me, but this is what it's looking like behind the motorhome. See if I can dig out that before video I took, but stacked up some firewood over there, firewood trees, a lot of brush is going here. I made a real big brush pile over here. Here's where that tree just randomly fell on me. Of course, I screwed the bumper of the motorhome up trying to get it out. Strange. The pipe in the ground is kind of random, but the west side of the house, I'll show you before it gets too windy so you can't hear me. It's barely opened up now. Ham radio towers and some other stuff I stumbled across. Scrap there. Here's what the back's looking like. There's the house for reference. All this little stuff I'm just going to mow with a bush hog. Dug up some stumps here. I'm going to come back through after I clear all these trees and have a stump digging party, but I just did these 2 or 3 or whatever it was because I plan on cleaning this up sooner than later to have a straight shot down through here when I'm farming. It had bumped out quite a bit here. So there's the corner of the lot, or the house lot anyways. And then down here, over past there's the house again for reference. I take it for granted that I've been doing all this. I know where I am, but you probably don't. Here's the old barn foundation with all the stuff brush piled in it. There's a pile of rubble here that I was kind of hoping that I could just, make a path through here and mow down it, but that's not going to happen. I don't know what all this was about. Not too worried about it at the moment. But here below the barn, we've got another pile of stuff. Firewood trees to cut up, and then started to run out of daylight. All this is fairly open down here. I peeled all the, I don't know what those things were, arborvitaes or yews or something off this little building, which of course is shot. But I'll probably save as much as this wider siding off this shed before that's why I haven't knocked it down. I kind of want to save that siding's a good 10 inches to a foot wide, and use that for something. But yeah, got the tripod here. I'm gonna set you up on the top of the hill out of the wind and start cleaning all these trees out, stack them for firewood, maybe a couple saw logs, and then let these daffodils get some sunshine. The first time in a long time. But that's where we're at now, and hopefully I'll have good luck getting this cleaned up, and then I'll bring the excavator way down by those pine trees is the property line, and I got to clean all that up yet. But we won't shoot a movie on that because that's pretty boring stuff. It doesn't really have to do with the house. So, you know what I mean. Well, this is where we're at. Sorry for the delay in getting this video out. It's just kind of a busy time of year. But the hillside looks clean, a lot cleaner than it is. All that's firewood. We'll kind of rake the sticks up here with the excavator and move them over to the burn pile at some point, but at least now you can kind of see what we're dealing with. I'm going to call this Stump Town for the moment. I do not want to dig all these stumps out, but it'd take a stump grinder a week solid probably to do it with, with one of them. But man, is it hard digging these stumps out. Even with that big machine, it is not easy. And you end up losing teeth in there too. Those teeth on the excavator aren't, you'd think they'd be easy to find, but they're not. And they're also not very cheap. So I've lost 2 teeth on that stump way down there. Was one of them. And then there was another in the front yard. So I know where they are. I'm going to try to metal detect them out. But yeah, it's going to wait on the stumps for a different time. But anyways, hope you enjoyed this. A little bit of a change. Carrie and I will eventually get up in that room above the doorway there and start cleaning that out. And then finally, the last room is that one above the, kind of like a storage area in the back there. And we got to move the motorhome. But the daffodils are still out and shining in some sunlight for the first time in a long time. So they're happy, I'm happy, and wherever you are, I hope things are going happily for you too. Take care. Bye-bye.